I've got an interesting nymph pattern for you today. It's nothing too difficult or tricky, just another one of the scud patterns out there, but this one, it's unique in that it uses an aftershaft feather for the legs, which may be one of the more underused materials out there. I'd put it up there with marabou or CDC for the amount of action it has in the water. Now I know a lot of you are probably thinking, you don't need another scud pattern, maybe you hardly ever fish them. But this one, forget for a second that it's a scud or gammarus or underwater shrimp. I think this one could be effective just because it looks like something a fish is going to want to eat. So there's one in the vise, an Aftershaft Scud. This one's in olive. You could certainly use any other tan or dun colors. I would probably keep it natural. And this is a size 14. It's 3x long curve shank hook, just multi-purpose hook. I use this for a lot of hoppers, nymphs, streamers, and various sizes. But it's a great hook. It's a J. Stockard model 430. Let's put down a little bit of olive thread. We don't have to go all the way back just yet. Somewhere up here in the first third is fine. Well, we probably do want to take it to the back before we catch in our rib, because we do have a little bit of a tail here. And the tail is going to be just it says hen. This is a pheasant, ringneck pheasant body feather, which we're going to use the aftershaft feather. See that small feather there? That's the aftershaft. That's what's going to give us the legs. But I'm just going to take some of the fluffy feathers from the side, or fibers from the side of that feather. Not a whole lot. This is just going to be a little tail here. Okay, that's fine. It's a little bit of a mess right here, but don't worry about it because it's going to get messier before we get done. But let's take our thread back up, and the rib, just some kind of monofilament, 3, 4, 5X. You could probably even use wire. Recipe does call for a clear monofilament, so that's what I'm using. I think this is actually just a 6-pound test, is what I had laying around here, but it'll work just fine. So go ahead and catch that in. Try not to mangle up our tail there. Okay, I think that's fine. Back your thread off just a little bit. Now we're going to catch in some thin skin, and this is, it's clear, speckled olive. It comes in a little piece of paper. When you cut it and then take that paper off, you got a clear little piece of plastic right here. And I've cut it at a little angle right here, just make it a little bit easier to catch in. We're going to want it to be pretty much right on top here. Okay, make sure you take it as far back as you want your body to be. I think that's going to work right there. Want it pretty far. Now take that aftershaft feather from that ringneck pheasant body feather, and this stuff is pretty brittle. It's not that hard to work with, but you do have to be careful because it will break on you if you put some real tight wraps or you tie it or pull on it a little bit. So we're going to catch it in. Have the small tip going forward, and that's fine. So we'll fold it over right here when we wrap it up front. But before we do that, we're going to dub a little bit of a body. So leave your thread in the back, put a little bit of wax on it. And this one, olive, sow scud and olive. So maybe a 3 or 4 inch noodle will get us all the way up front. You don't have to make it real thick. It's just going to give it a slight bit of flash under this aftershaft, the legs here. Okay, now just wrap this up to the front of the fly. Let's go a little bit more than that. Okay, I think that's going to work. Now, first thing, just fold this aftershaft feather over and lay it kind of flat so you have the legs coming off on either side. Okay, adjust it if you need to so you have them kind of laying off the sides right there. Now fold this thin skin over. See that? Not very wide. We'll catch it with just a couple of wraps to begin with. This monofilament is what's really going to hold it and give it a little bit of shape right here. So just go ahead and wrap your mono up. You might have to zigzag it through a little bit. You don't want to trap too many of these legs. You're going to trap some. It's unavoidable, but just zigzag it and do the best you can here. Okay, when you got that up front, go ahead and secure this with several wraps. I want to do some pretty tight wraps up here before we snip all this excess off up front. I've got a little bit coming forward, so I'm going to lick my fingers, just try to pull all this back right here and then build a big nymph head. All right, let's whip finish, see if we have any cleanup here. Can't imagine we're gonna have too much cleanup. This is a fuzzy fly by design. Or just take a look at it. You can see not a whole lot of legs with that single aftershaft feather, but it's gonna be enough. And it's gonna have that typical scud look to it. So that's it, my friends. Drop a head cement on it, and this thing's good to go. So I appreciate you watching. Y'all take care, and we'll see you next time.